In the vast stretches of the Atlantic Ocean beyond the horizon where the sun sets in a fiery blaze lies a story that has fascinated humans for thousands of years, the story of Atlantis. According to the ancient philosopher Plato, who first recorded its existence in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias, Atlantis was no ordinary land. It was a civilization of immense wealth, advanced technology, and unparalleled culture. It was said to be a utopia, a perfect society governed by wise kings and philosophers, its people skilled in science, architecture, and art, far beyond what most societies of the time could achieve. Yet, as Plato tells us, this remarkable land vanished beneath the waves in a single day and night of catastrophic disaster. Was Atlantis real, or merely a parable of hubris and divine punishment? Scholars have debated this question for centuries, but tantalizing hints of underwater ruins, mysterious maps, and ancient myths suggest that there might be more truth to the legend than mere fiction. The story begins long before the city's destruction, in an age when humans were only beginning to master the secrets of the earth and the sea. Legends tell of a kingdom located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, what we now call the Strait of Gibraltar, where the Atlanteans harnessed powers that seemed almost magical. They built sprawling cities of marble and gold, complete with grand canals, temples, and towering palaces. Their ships sailed farther than any before them, exploring distant lands and trading with other advanced cultures. The Atlanteans were said to possess knowledge of natural forces, using them to power incredible machines and to irrigate vast agricultural lands, creating bountiful harvests that fed thousands. But their greatness also sowed the seeds of their downfall. According to Plato, the Atlanteans grew arrogant and greedy, turning away from the moral and philosophical teachings of their ancestors. Their ambition led them to attempt to conquer other nations, bringing them into conflict with the ancient Greeks, whose tales of the gods and heroes would later immortalize the struggle. As their power expanded, the gods, displeased with human pride and overreach, decided to punish Atlantis. Natural calamities struck, earthquakes, floods, and volcanic eruptions, and within a single day the once glorious civilization sank beneath the sea, leaving only fragments of its splendor to inspire awe and curiosity in future generations. Throughout history, explorers, philosophers, and historians have sought evidence of Atlantis, from the sands of North Africa to the islands of the Caribbean, and from the Mediterranean depths to the coasts of South America. Some claim to have discovered sunken structures, intricate stonework, or unusual artifacts that cannot be easily explained. Could these be remnants of the lost city? Others argue that the tale of Atlantis is purely allegorical, a story designed to warn against human hubris and the dangers of moral corruption. Yet the allure of a hidden, advanced civilization under the ocean continues to captivate imaginations. Modern science has added new dimensions to the mystery. Underwater archaeology, sonar mapping, and deep-sea exploration have revealed ruins and landscapes previously unknown, some of which match descriptions that could be linked to Atlantis. Giant stone formations, circular structures, and unnatural terraces on the ocean floor have been found in locations ranging from the Azores to the Caribbean, sparking renewed debates among researchers. Could these be the remnants of the legendary city, lost for millennia beneath the waves, or are they simply natural formations, misinterpreted by those eager to believe in the legend? In the vast stretches of the Atlantic Ocean, beyond the horizon where the sun sets in a fiery blaze, lies a story that has fascinated humans for thousands of years, the story of Atlantis. According to the ancient philosopher Plato, who first recorded its existence in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias, Atlantis was no ordinary land. It was a civilization of immense wealth, advanced technology, and unparalleled culture. It was said to be a utopia, a perfect society governed by wise kings and philosophers, its people skilled in science, architecture, and art, far beyond what most societies of the time could achieve. Yet, as Plato tells us, this remarkable land vanished beneath the waves in a single day and night of catastrophic disaster. Was Atlantis real, or merely a parable of hubris and divine punishment? Scholars have debated this question for centuries, but tantalizing hints of underwater ruins, mysterious maps, and ancient myths suggest that there might be more truth to the legend than mere fiction. The story begins long before the city's destruction, in an age when humans were only beginning to master the secrets of the earth and the sea. Legends tell of a kingdom located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, what we now call the Strait of Gibraltar, where the Atlanteans harnessed powers that seemed almost magical. They built sprawling cities of marble and gold, complete with grand canals, temples, and towering palaces. Their ships sailed farther than any before them, exploring distant lands and trading with other advanced cultures. The Atlanteans were said to possess knowledge of natural forces, using them to power incredible machines and to irrigate vast agricultural lands, creating bountiful harvests that fed thousands. But their greatness also sowed the seeds of their downfall. According to Plato, the Atlanteans grew arrogant and greedy, turning away from the moral and philosophical teachings of their ancestors. Their ambition led them to attempt to conquer other nations, bringing them into conflict with the ancient Greeks, whose tales of the gods and heroes would later immortalize the struggle. As their power expanded, the gods, displeased with human pride and overreach, decided to punish Atlantis. Natural calamities struck, earthquakes, floods, and volcanic eruptions, and within a single day, the once glorious civilization sank beneath the sea, leaving only fragments of its splendor to inspire awe and curiosity in future generations. Throughout history, explorers, philosophers, and historians have sought evidence of Atlantis, from the sands of North Africa to the islands of the Caribbean, and from the Mediterranean depths to the coasts of South America. Some claim to have discovered sunken structures, intricate stonework, or unusual artifacts that cannot be easily explained. Could these be remnants of the lost city? Others argue that the tale of Atlantis is purely allegorical, a story designed to warn against human hubris and the dangers of moral corruption. Yet the allure of a hidden, advanced civilization under the ocean continues to captivate imaginations. Modern science has added new dimensions to the mystery. Underwater archaeology, sonar mapping, and deep-sea exploration have revealed ruins and landscapes previously unknown, some of which match descriptions that could be linked to Atlantis. Giant stone formations, circular structures, and unnatural terraces on the ocean floor have been found in locations ranging from the Azores to the Caribbean, sparking renewed debates among researchers. Could these be the remnants of the legendary city lost for millennia beneath the waves? Or are they simply natural formations, misinterpreted by those eager to believe in the legend? As explorers and scientists investigate, some point to underwater ruins near places like the coast of Spain, the Caribbean, and even the Mediterranean, suggesting that these submerged structures could be remnants of ancient civilizations. Some of these sites show geometric patterns, walls, and platforms that appear to be man-made. While skeptics argue these are natural rock formations, the resemblance to Plato's detailed descriptions keeps the speculation alive. Beyond archaeology, Atlantis has captured the imagination of writers, philosophers, and futurists. Many see the legend as a metaphor for the rise and fall of civilizations. Just as the Atlanteans were said to wield great knowledge and power, humanity today navigates the balance between innovation, expansion, and environmental responsibility. Could our own societies face a fate similar to Atlantis if wisdom is ignored? For centuries, Atlantis has inspired countless expeditions. In the early 20th century, treasure hunters and adventurers set sail across the Atlantic, scouring islands, reefs, and sunken lands, hoping to uncover proof. Some returned with artifacts and stories of strange ruins, others with only tales of failure and mystery. Yet every discovery, real or imagined, adds another layer to the legend, blending fact, myth, and imagination into a narrative that refuses to fade. Modern technology has taken the search to new depths. Advanced sonar mapping, underwater drones, and satellite imagery allow researchers to explore areas once impossible to reach. In places like the Azores or the shallow banks near the Bahamas, mysterious formations have been mapped, sparking debates in academic journals and online forums alike. Are these proof of Atlantis or just nature playing tricks on human perception? Even cultural interpretations play a role. In many mythologies, tales of lost lands, sunken cities, and great floods appear across the globe, from the stories of Lemuria in the Indian Ocean to the flood myths of Mesopotamia. Some theorists suggest that Atlantis may be a shared human memory of ancient disasters, preserved and adapted in storytelling across civilizations. Beyond the evidence and theories, the appeal of Atlantis lies in its mystery. Unlike other ancient civilizations whose ruins we can visit and study, Atlantis is unreachable, hidden beneath the waves, leaving only Plato's words and our imagination to guide us. Its inaccessibility adds to the allure, giving explorers, historians, and dreamers alike a tantalizing challenge to find what may never be found and to understand what may never be fully explained. Yet perhaps that is the point. Atlantis represents not just a lost city, but the human desire to explore, to question, and to dream. It reminds us that some knowledge may be lost to time, yet the search for understanding is timeless. From early philosophers to modern documentaries, Atlantis continues to inspire, challenge, and intrigue, showing that even myths have the power to shape human curiosity, exploration, and imagination. Whether you view it as a historical possibility, a metaphorical lesson, or an enduring mystery, Atlantis stands as a symbol of human ingenuity, ambition, and the eternal pull of the unknown. Modern explorers and scientists are using some of the most advanced technology ever developed to investigate the oceans in search of Atlantis. Submersible vehicles equipped with high-resolution cameras and sonar mapping systems can now explore depths that were once unreachable, revealing vast underwater landscapes. In places like the Azores, underwater plateaus and strange geometric formations have been discovered. Some researchers argue these could be remnants of an ancient city, while skeptics insist they are simply volcanic rock formations shaped by natural processes. The Caribbean also offers intriguing possibilities. The shallow banks around the Bahamas, particularly the so-called Bimini Road, feature flat, rectangular stones arranged in patterns that some claim resemble ancient roads or walls. Could this be evidence of a civilization lost beneath the waves? Or is it another case of human imagination seeing patterns where none were intended? Even with modern technology, Atlantis remains elusive. No definitive proof has been found. No inscriptions, no intact buildings, no undisputed artifacts. Yet the allure of the lost city continues to inspire exploration, fueling documentaries, books, and countless theories online. Some researchers have turned to history and geology for clues. They study tectonic activity, ancient sea levels, and catastrophic events like tsunamis or volcanic eruptions. Could a civilization like Atlantis have existed and been wiped out by a sudden natural disaster, leaving little trace behind? Many point to the Minoan civilization on Crete and Santorini as possible inspirations for the legend. The Minoans thrived thousands of years ago, building advanced cities with elaborate palaces, frescoes, and intricate trade networks. Around 1600 BCE, a massive volcanic eruption on Santorini devastated the region, destroying settlements and reshaping the landscape. Could Plato's story of Atlantis be inspired by memories of these events? The legend also touches on moral and philosophical lessons. Plato described Atlantis as a powerful, technologically advanced civilization that ultimately fell due to greed, corruption, and hubris. It serves as a warning: no matter how advanced or mighty a society becomes, arrogance and moral decay can lead to downfall. Atlantis, in this sense, is more than a lost city. It's a timeless story about human nature, ambition, and the fragility of civilization. Its influence extends beyond archaeology and history. Atlantis has inspired literature, movies, video games, and art, shaping how we imagine the ancient world and its mysteries. From Jules Verne's fantastical adventures to modern documentaries and conspiracy theories, the legend continues to captivate minds worldwide. For many, the true appeal of Atlantis is not whether it existed or not, but the mystery itself. The idea that somewhere beneath the ocean, a city of incredible knowledge, culture, and power may lie hidden, waiting to be discovered by those bold enough to seek it. Even today, Atlantis serves as a symbol of exploration, curiosity, and the human desire to understand the unknown. It reminds us that some questions may never be fully answered, yet the pursuit of those answers drives innovation, imagination, and the spirit of discovery. Some theorists argue that Atlantis could be linked to ancient civilizations far beyond the Mediterranean. They point to the Americas, where advanced cultures like the Olmecs, Maya, and Inca flourished long before European contact. Could there have been a connection through lost knowledge, seafaring skills, or migration? While there is no concrete evidence, similarities in architecture, astronomy, and mythology across continents have fueled speculation. In addition to archaeology and geology, linguistics offers tantalizing hints. Certain words, myths, and symbols appear in multiple ancient cultures, suggesting that stories of a great flood, sunken cities, or vanished civilizations may have traveled across oceans and generations. Could Plato's Atlantis be a memory of such a global phenomenon? Climate change and rising sea levels also play a role in this mystery. Thousands of years ago, much of the Earth's coastlines were different. Areas that are now submerged may have been habitable and home to thriving civilizations. Some researchers argue that the slow rise of oceans could have erased entire societies, leaving only stories passed down through generations. The ocean itself is a vast, largely unexplored frontier. With over 70% of the Earth covered by water, much of it remains unseen and unknown. Who is to say what secrets lie on the ocean floor? Modern expeditions continue to map underwater plateaus, search for anomalies, and document strange formations. Every sonar image sparks excitement and debate. Atlantis may not be a single location, but a collection of lost cities, islands, and cultures scattered across the seas, erased over millennia. Some have even ventured into speculative science, exploring ideas like submerged pyramids, ancient technology, or even the possibility that advanced civilizations existed far earlier than recorded history allows. While these ideas are controversial, they highlight the enduring fascination with the unknown. The legend of Atlantis also teaches us about storytelling itself. Plato's account is part historical, part allegorical, and part philosophical. It shows how myths can endure, influence generations, and inspire exploration. People continue to search for Atlantis, not just for gold, treasures, or fame, but to connect with a deeper human story, a longing to understand our past, our potential, and our place in the world. Today, scientists, historians, and adventurers alike acknowledge that the search for Atlantis is as much about the journey as the destination. The oceans challenge us, inspire us, and remind us that despite centuries of knowledge, mysteries still abound. It is a reminder that human curiosity has no limits, and the allure of the lost city continues to drive innovation, exploration, and imagination across the globe. Legends of Atlantis have inspired countless explorers, writers, and scientists over the centuries. Some claim it was located somewhere in the Mediterranean, perhaps near Crete or Santorini, linking it to the mysterious Minoan civilization that vanished under the waves. Others argue it might have been far beyond, in the Atlantic Ocean, as Plato described. A civilization advanced beyond its time. Every new theory sparks debate. Some rely on ancient texts, others on geology, archaeology, and even underwater exploration. While some researchers dismiss Atlantis as pure myth, the evidence of ancient floods, lost islands, and sudden collapses of civilizations keeps the discussion alive. Atlantis also holds lessons for the modern world. It reminds us how fragile societies can be when hubris, greed, or environmental neglect take hold. Floods, earthquakes, and volcanic eruptions that may have destroyed Atlantis have parallels today in climate change and natural disasters. Studying its story can encourage humanity to respect nature, preserve knowledge, and learn from the mistakes of the past. The tale of Atlantis is more than a mystery. It's a reflection of our hopes, fears, and dreams. It questions what humanity can achieve, what we might lose, and how the story of a lost city can shape generations long after it disappeared beneath the waves. Even as scientists search the oceans with sonar, deep-sea robots, and satellite mapping, new clues emerge. Some shipwrecks hint at lost civilizations, while submerged ruins suggest the possibility that islands once stood where today there is only open sea. Each discovery fuels speculation. Could Atlantis have been real? Did it possess technology or knowledge lost to time? Or was it a cautionary tale, a story passed down to teach about balance, humility, and the impermanence of power? Legends of Atlantis have fascinated humans for over 2,000 years, captivating minds from ancient philosophers to modern explorers. Plato first told the story in his dialogues, describing a city of immense wealth, advanced technology, and powerful armies which vanished beneath the ocean in a single day and night of disaster. The vivid descriptions of temples, palaces, and harbors painted a picture of a society that was incredibly sophisticated, far ahead of its time. Over centuries, countless maps, books, and theories have tried to pinpoint its location, but none have been confirmed, leaving the story shrouded in mystery. Some suggest it was inspired by real events, like the catastrophic volcanic eruption on the island of Thera, which destroyed the Minoan civilization around 1600 BC. Others believe Plato invented Atlantis as a cautionary tale, illustrating the dangers of greed, corruption, and hubris in powerful societies. Yet, despite the lack of definitive proof, the legend persists, inspiring novels, films, and even scientific expeditions. Modern technology has allowed researchers to explore the ocean floor in unprecedented detail, uncovering submerged structures, unusual geological formations, and evidence of ancient settlements that were once above water. Each new discovery rekindles speculation about what might have been, whether Atlantis was an actual civilization, a conglomeration of lost islands, or simply a story meant to teach moral lessons. Some scholars turn to satellite imagery, sonar mapping, and underwater drones to scan areas like the Azores, the Caribbean, and the Mediterranean for hints of sunken cities. Every rock formation, every pattern in the seabed is examined for signs of human activity. Yet the ocean keeps its secrets well. Beyond physical evidence, Atlantis represents an idea, the ultimate lost world that fuels imagination. It challenges historians, geologists, and dreamers alike to consider how civilizations rise and fall, how knowledge can be lost, and how stories from antiquity can resonate through millennia. Whether real or myth, Atlantis serves as a mirror to human ambition and vulnerability, reminding us that even the greatest achievements can be undone by nature or hubris. Its story continues to inspire exploration, from documentaries and academic studies to treasure hunters and conspiracy theorists, all searching for clues that might finally prove or disprove its existence. Every culture has tales of lost cities and civilizations, but Atlantis stands out for its scale, its mystery, and its ability to bridge fact and legend. It is a story of ingenuity, power, disaster, and the enduring fascination with the unknown, proving that even millennia later, humans are drawn to the idea of discovering what lies hidden beneath the waves. The search for Atlantis is as much about history as it is about humanity's eternal curiosity, showing that our desire to explore, to uncover secrets, and to imagine the impossible has no boundaries. Legends of Atlantis have fascinated humans for over 2,000 years, captivating minds from ancient philosophers to modern explorers. Plato first told the story in his dialogues, describing a city of immense wealth, advanced technology, and powerful armies, which vanished beneath the ocean in a single day and night of disaster. The vivid descriptions of temples, palaces, and harbors painted a picture of a society that was incredibly sophisticated, far ahead of its time. Over centuries, countless maps, books, and theories have tried to pinpoint its location, but none have been confirmed, leaving the story shrouded in mystery. Some suggest it was inspired by real events, like the catastrophic volcanic eruption on the island of Thera, which destroyed the Minoan civilization around 1600 BC. Others believe Plato invented Atlantis as a cautionary tale, illustrating the dangers of greed, corruption, and hubris in powerful societies. Yet, despite the lack of definitive proof, the legend persists, inspiring novels, films, and even scientific expeditions. Modern technology has allowed researchers to explore the ocean floor in unprecedented detail, uncovering submerged structures, unusual geological formations, and evidence of ancient settlements that were once above water. Each new discovery rekindles speculation about what might have been, whether Atlantis was an actual civilization, a conglomeration of lost islands, or simply a story meant to teach moral lessons. Some scholars turn to satellite imagery, sonar mapping, and underwater drones to scan areas like the Azores, the Caribbean, and the Mediterranean for hints of sunken cities. Every rock formation, every pattern in the seabed is examined for signs of human activity, yet the ocean keeps its secrets well. Beyond physical evidence, Atlantis represents an idea, the ultimate lost world that fuels imagination. It challenges historians, geologists, and dreamers alike to consider how civilizations rise and fall, how knowledge can be lost, and how stories from antiquity can resonate through millennia. Whether real or myth, Atlantis serves as a mirror to human ambition and vulnerability, reminding us that even the greatest achievements can be undone by nature or hubris. Its story continues to inspire exploration, from documentaries and academic studies to treasure hunters and conspiracy theorists, all searching for clues that might finally prove or disprove its existence. Every culture has tales of lost cities and civilizations, but Atlantis stands out for its scale, its mystery, and its ability to bridge fact and legend. It is a story of ingenuity, power, disaster, and the enduring fascination with the unknown, proving that even millennia later, humans are drawn to the idea of discovering what lies hidden beneath the waves. The search for Atlantis is as much about history as it is about humanity's eternal curiosity, showing that our desire to explore, to uncover secrets, and to imagine the impossible has no boundaries. Over the centuries, countless explorers and adventurers have tried to locate Atlantis, often claiming discoveries that later proved inconclusive or outright hoaxes. Some expeditions have focused on sonar mapping of the ocean floor, discovering submerged plateaus, ridges, and structures that resemble city foundations, fueling speculation that remnants of ancient civilizations lie hidden beneath the waves. In the 20th century, explorers like Ignatius Donnelly popularized Atlantis in the modern imagination, connecting it to lost technologies, advanced engineering, and even suggesting that it influenced civilizations across Europe, Africa, and the Americas. Donnelly's work inspired a generation of writers, historians, and conspiracy theorists, blending myth with pseudo-archaeology and cementing Atlantis as one of the most famous lost civilizations. Other researchers approached the story cautiously, focusing on geological events that could explain the disappearance of an island or coastal city, such as earthquakes, tsunamis, and volcanic eruptions. The eruption of Thera, modern Santorini, around 1600 BC, is often cited as a real-world event that may have inspired Atlantis's legend, as it caused massive destruction to Minoan civilization and reshaped the Aegean Sea region. Similarly, other catastrophic events, including rising sea levels at the end of the last ice age, could have submerged settlements along coastal regions, feeding the myth of a lost, advanced society swallowed by the ocean. Some even connect Atlantis to ancient civilizations in the Americas, citing similarities in pyramid structures, myths of floods, and advanced astronomical knowledge. Critics argue that these connections are coincidental or the result of misinterpretation, yet the allure of a civilization lost to time remains powerful. Atlantis also intersects with mystical and esoteric beliefs, with some claiming it was a center of ancient knowledge, spiritual enlightenment, or even contact with extraterrestrial beings. While mainstream historians reject these ideas, they contribute to the enduring fascination of the story and the wide audience it attracts. Schools of thought also explore the symbolic meaning of Atlantis, considering it a metaphor for human ambition, societal collapse, or the fragility of civilization in the face of nature's forces. By studying Atlantis, people reflect on historical lessons, environmental awareness, and the consequences of overreaching power. The legend has even influenced literature, art, and cinema, from Jules Verne's novels to modern blockbuster films, showing that Atlantis continues to captivate the collective imagination worldwide. Today, the search for Atlantis combines technology, science, and storytelling, with drones, deep-sea submersibles, and satellite mapping contributing to ongoing investigations. Each new discovery, whether a submerged city, unusual geological formation, or ancient artifact, reignites discussions about whether Plato's account was literal or symbolic. Regardless of its factual accuracy, Atlantis represents the eternal human fascination with the unknown, the lost, and the possibilities of civilizations beyond our current understanding. Scholars, adventurers, and enthusiasts continue to debate, explore, and dream, keeping the legend alive for anyone willing to ponder the mysteries of the ancient world. The legend of Atlantis has not only inspired historians and explorers, but also countless cultures around the world. In South America, myths of lost cities and great floods echo the story of the civilizations swallowed by water. In Asia, tales of sunken kingdoms and islands lost to the sea carry similar themes, suggesting a shared human fascination with catastrophe and the idea of an advanced society disappearing mysteriously. Some researchers propose that these stories could have a common origin, rooted in real events from the distant past, like catastrophic tsunamis or rising ocean levels at the end of the last ice age. Others argue that Atlantis serves as a cautionary tale, a warning against hubris, greed, and environmental neglect. Plato's narrative describes a society that grew morally and politically corrupt, ultimately punished by the gods with destruction. This moral dimension has allowed Atlantis to resonate through time, giving storytellers a rich foundation to explore human nature and societal collapse. Modern popular culture has embraced Atlantis wholeheartedly, from science fiction novels and comic books to video games and animated films. These stories often depict advanced technology, underwater cities, and hidden knowledge, blending imagination with a touch of historical speculation. Even underwater archaeology has been influenced by the legend, as expeditions seek signs of ancient ports, submerged settlements, and structures that could confirm long-lost civilizations. One intriguing theory suggests that the Azores Islands in the Atlantic may be remnants of Atlantis, as they lie along tectonic fault lines and have unusual geological formations. Other theories focus on the Caribbean, the Mediterranean, or even Antarctica, showing just how diverse and global the search has become. Despite centuries of investigation, no definitive evidence has been found, and this uncertainty only adds to the allure. Each claim, whether an ancient stone structure, a sunken city, or an artifact, sparks debates, documentaries, and online discussions, keeping Atlantis at the forefront of human curiosity. The story's flexibility allows it to evolve with every generation. Ancient philosophical texts, historical interpretations, modern conspiracy theories, and fictional adaptations all reinterpret Atlantis to fit contemporary interests, whether for adventure, mystery, or lessons about human civilization. Even scientists studying climate change, rising sea levels, and lost civilizations often reference Atlantis as a touchstone, showing that myths and history can intersect in fascinating ways. Schools and universities use the story to teach critical thinking, comparing Plato's writings with archaeological evidence, geological studies, and historical records. Students learn not only about ancient Greek philosophy, but also about how myths can shape culture, politics, and imagination for thousands of years. Over the centuries, explorers and researchers have proposed numerous possible locations for Atlantis, each backed by its own intriguing clues. One of the earliest and most popular theories places Atlantis in the Mediterranean Sea, possibly near the island of Santorini. Around 1600 BC, Santorini suffered a massive volcanic eruption, one of the largest in recorded history, which destroyed the Minoan civilization on nearby Crete. Some scholars argue that Plato's story could have been inspired by this real catastrophe, as it involves sudden destruction, floods, and a thriving advanced society wiped out almost overnight. Another strong contender is the Azores, a group of volcanic islands in the mid-Atlantic Ocean. Their geological features suggest that parts of the islands could be remnants of a larger landmass submerged by tectonic activity or rising seas thousands of years ago. Researchers point to unusual underwater formations around the islands that resemble man-made structures, sparking both excitement and skepticism. Beyond the Atlantic, some theorists look to the Caribbean, particularly Cuba and the Bahamas. Underwater formations near Bimini, including stone roads and geometric shapes, have been claimed by some to be remnants of an ancient city. While mainstream science largely considers them natural formations, they continue to fuel debates, documentaries, and underwater exploration missions. There are even more controversial theories placing Atlantis in Antarctica or South America, tying its disappearance to massive glacial melts or shifts in the Earth's crust at the end of the Ice Age. These ideas are often linked with esoteric theories and lost knowledge hypotheses, blending scientific curiosity with mythology. The variety of locations demonstrates just how adaptable the Atlantis legend is, able to fit a multitude of historical events and geological phenomena. Each theory reflects not only a desire to find lost civilizations, but also the human fascination with mysteries that might never be fully solved. Expeditions searching for Atlantis often use the latest technology, including sonar mapping, submersible vehicles, and satellite imagery, scanning the ocean floors for signs of ruins. Sometimes they discover anomalies that hint at human activity, but nothing has definitively confirmed Atlantis's existence. Yet every discovery rekindles interest, drawing historians, adventurers, and amateur enthusiasts alike. Atlantis has also influenced architecture, art, and literature, inspiring entire genres of stories about sunken cities, advanced technologies, and hidden wisdom. Writers, filmmakers, and game developers build entire worlds around the idea of a lost civilization beneath the waves, using Plato's moral warnings as the foundation for epic tales of heroism, greed, and environmental catastrophe. Beyond entertainment, the legend of Atlantis challenges us to think about human progress and hubris. What happens when civilizations grow too ambitious, too dependent on technology, or too disconnected from nature? Atlantis serves as a mirror reflecting humanity's own potential for greatness and destruction. It's a story that crosses cultures and continents, linking Greek philosophy, Egyptian records, and global myths about floods, lost lands, and divine retribution. Whether Atlantis was real or a product of imagination, its influence on human culture is undeniable. In modern times, Atlantis has captured the imagination of millions around the globe. Movies, books, television shows, and video games have all drawn on Plato's story, turning the lost civilization into a symbol of mystery, adventure, and advanced knowledge. From Hollywood blockbusters to animated adventures, Atlantis is often depicted as a technologically superior society, with machines, energy sources, and architecture far beyond what historians believe existed in the ancient world. Some creative works even portray Atlantis as having mastered forms of energy or transportation that remain science fiction today, blending myth with futuristic possibilities. Beyond entertainment, the legend of Atlantis has influenced scientific thought, leading to genuine exploration and research. Oceanographers, archaeologists, and geologists continue to study submerged land formations, plate tectonics, and ancient climate change, sometimes citing Atlantis as inspiration to uncover real historical truths about civilizations lost to time. In some interpretations, Atlantis isn't just a city or island. It represents an entire worldview, a cautionary tale about how human ambition, arrogance, and environmental mismanagement can lead to downfall. This perspective has inspired environmentalists and thinkers who see parallels between the fate of Atlantis and modern concerns such as climate change, rising sea levels, and unsustainable urban expansion. Atlantis has also woven itself into conspiracy theories and esoteric teachings. Some claim that survivors of Atlantis carried advanced knowledge to other ancient civilizations, influencing the Egyptians, Mayans, or even early Greeks. While these claims are unverified and often speculative, they add layers to the legend, showing how a story from 2,400 years ago continues to spark debate, research, and wonder. And so, the story of Atlantis, part myth, part mystery, lingers in our minds, like whispers from a world that may have once been, or perhaps only lived in our imagination. Whether it sank beneath the waves or sailed only in Plato's words, Atlantis reminds us of the fragility and wonder of civilizations, and of our own place in the tides of history. If you've sailed with us through this ancient tale, thank you not just for watching, but for wandering into the unknown with curiosity, for letting your imagination drift across oceans and centuries, and for keeping the stories of the past alive in your mind. Remember, history isn't only what happened, it's what we dream, what we wonder, and what we carry forward. And if Atlantis teaches us anything, it's that the greatest discoveries are sometimes the ones we make in the quiet corners of our own minds. Thank you, traveler. Until the next journey.